follows an extract from my book Fête Fatale, available from Amazon. Chapter 6, Part 2. Maddox reflected that this prompt, businesslike way of bagging up someone's life so quickly after their death, someone so close, was really quite sad. To have to bottle up grief so soon and get on with business highlighted the fragility of Jean's situation. He thought of his own mum when his dad had died suddenly. He was only 15 at the time, and it had hit both him and his mum hard. He'd rallied quite quickly. Youthful exuberance wasn't easy to quench, and he'd got his friends to rally round him too. He remembered anew how fragile his mum had seemed at the time, but she had in fact been really tough. Of course, his mum had her friends to help her too, but it was bound to hit her hardest. He realised now that having to look after a son must have been the mainstay for his mum. Jean and John hadn't any children, and so what else was there for Jean to do but clear away and move on? Such forthright practicality was more pitiable to him now than the stereotypical helplessness, and a wave of sympathy for Jean swept over him as he realised how he'd misjudged her. Shaking off his melancholy, he turned his attention to the pile of keys. The shape he was searching for was easily recognisable, and he quickly ignored the ubiquitous shed keys that had probably not fitted into any shed lock for a very long time. Garage keys and defunct door keys could also be quickly laid aside. The few likely candidates remaining were carried over to the filing cabinet to be tried. His first attempts were unsuccessful, and he realised that these were more likely to be UPVC window keys. The penultimate key proved successful, and he treated the contents of the filing cabinet to the same methodic treatment which had served him at the desk. This time, however, he worked from bottom to top, judging the lower drawers to be the most out of date, as it was unlikely that John would want to be stooping down to low files on a regular basis. This proved correct, and the lower drawers held nothing of interest. The topmost drawer appeared to be given over to the last 6 months of business, and so Maddox concentrated on this. If John had needed to surface from retirement recently as a result of business worries, then the secret would probably be in this drawer. Maybe he would find something here to account for a sudden medical relapse. He might find a hefty fine from the authorities, an exceeded overdraft, or a court summons. From what he had heard and from the paperwork he had found, it seemed that John's property interests were focused mainly in Greece and Spain, with just a splash of speculation in France. Maddox was surprised to learn that not only did John own and lease out residential properties, he also owned a beach bar in Spain. He was sure that Jean would be equally surprised about these interests too. He bagged up some outstanding invoices and some letters from the Greek tax authority, and then began to tidy up and prepare to leave. He met Henrietta in the hallway. She was lugging heavy-duty black bin liners full of shirts and pullovers ready to be taken to the church hall to be given to various charitable causes. "You're not going to manage all of those. Can't you get a lift with all these bags?" he said. "Oh, I shan't take them all at once. I'll just take a bag at a time. I'm leaving in a moment, so I thought I'd make a start with 1 or 2, said Henrietta. "Just give me a moment to ask Jean to sign these receipts, and then I'll come with you and carry a couple as we go. That'll be 2 less at least." Maddox thanked Jean for her help and got his signature for the items he was taking away, and then joined Henrietta in the hallway. Adding a couple of the overflowing bin bags to his loaded Ziploc cases, he made his way with her into the street. "I'm glad that you're helping Jean out. I don't think I've properly understood her, and I put her down as something of a dragon. Jean's all right. She's a bit strict, but she pitches in like the rest of us. She's not too easy to get to know, that's all." "Folks could say that about you," said Maddox. "I don't know how you dare," said Henrietta, but she laughed as she said it. "It's not easy moving into a little village where everybody really does know everybody else. How can I be expected to jump straight in and get chatting to everybody? I can't just butt in, can I? I'm settling in gradually, thank you for asking. I'm sorry that didn't come across too well at all, did it? I'm glad that you're getting to know Emma. Did you enjoy the fete? Yes, I did. It really helped me and Toby feel a part of things finally. I learned how to bake 1,000,000 cupcakes too. It's such a shame that John died at the fete. I don't know why, but it seems worse for him to have died there and on that day. But that's nonsense, isn't it? There's no good time or place really, is there? No, but I know what you mean. It's not very private, that's for sure. Why are you having to go poking around his stuff? Can't Dr. Wainwright just say he died and have done with it? People do just die. I'm afraid it's never so simple. On the death certificate, he has to give a reason for the death, and because John had no acute medical history, he has to give a tangible reason for the death. He can't just base it on hearsay. We have to give evidence to support any reasoning. It's more complicated too because nobody was with him when he died, or at least nobody has come forward to say that they were there. I'm meeting Dr. Wainwright this lunchtime, so I'm hoping we can tie it all up today. I'll have to be guided by him. I hope you get it tidied up soon. Jean is quite a tough cookie, but I do wonder what's going on beneath the surface. She must need closure before she can properly think about looking ahead. They'd reached the church hall at this point in the conversation. Bobby deposited the bags of clothing in the entrance to the church hall and made his way back to the police station with an extra jauntiness in his step. For the full book of Fête Fatale, available in paperback or as an ebook, follow the link in the cards in the description box or find details on my website at sharonbill.com. Thanks for listening.